is time for your weekly breakdown on the latest in entertainment, sports, pop culture, and all things Milwaukee. This is Nothing But the Truth with Melanie Ricks. Now streaming on 1017 The Truth YouTube with the witty banter, latest trends on social media, and hottest celebrity topics, here is Melanie Ricks. It is time for your weekly breakdown on the latest in entertainment, sports, pop culture, and all things Milwaukee. This is Nothing But the Truth with Melanie Ricks. Now streaming on 1017 The Truth YouTube with the witty banter, latest trends on social media, and hottest celebrity topics, here is Melanie Ricks.
Okay.
You about to drop some bars? What's up?
Melanie Ricks, come with the hits.
Hey, I'm gonna go. Hey, pick up the sticks. Yeah, should I pick up that stick? I don't know. I'ma go ahead though and do it like this. Hey, that's Ben jamming. You know he be jamming. That's all the way. He don't be playing. I don't know what I'm saying, but that's okay. Cause you know I be praying. Yes, Lord, I be praying. Yes, Lord, I be praying. That's funny. You feeling the bars today?
Go crazy, Mel.
Listen, it's light. It's something light. It's something light.
Talk to these.
Woo! The Truth After Dark. Nah. What's up, y'all? Welcome to Nothing But the Truth with Melanie Ricks. This is not the Truth After Dark. It is still light outside. Okay? Let's be very clear. But we got some dark stuff to talk about. Oh my gosh, this is a really tough one for me. I'm not gonna lie. Reading about all of this Shannon Sharpe business, it's tough. It's a tough one. You know, I was talking to Ben about it before we came on your airways. And first off, just want to say thank you for tuning in. We are live here tonight, live from the 3rd Street Market Hall. And as you know, 3rd Street Market Hall is always popping. Like, no, literally, it's popping right now. There's a lot of people. Every time I'm here, is juking. Like, no joke. And what else is juking is NFL Draft Week. So shout out to our friends over at Visit Milwaukee because y'all are gearing up as Sports Milwaukee hosts Milwaukee Tailgate Week presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook. And starting tomorrow, going through the 26th Milwaukee Tailgate Week, features a variety of gridiron activations for all ages, steeped in Milwaukee's iconic sports history, attractions, brews, restaurants, and venues. 2025 NFL Draft takes center stage in Green Bay. Just read today that there are 2 students from, I believe, a Washington high school that are going to be selecting the 38th overall pick in the second round of the draft. So shout out to y'all. But regardless, the draft takes center stage in Green Bay. Sports Milwaukee, Cream City are excited to welcome the football world back to Wisconsin. Don't forget, go to visitmilwaukee.org/tailgate. Use the promo code VISIT, VISIT, for 50% off. Brought to you by Visit Milwaukee. Handcrafted, homegrown, world class. We got some stuff to talk about, though. Shannon Sharpe. It's been a hot topic, not just on 1017 The Truth's airwaves, but everywhere. Okay, this story has gone viral and then some to the nth degree. Okay, Shannon Sharpe is being accused of rape. I'm just gonna end that sentence right there. This is a really big one. He's being accused of sexual assault, battery, and harassment, all falling under that rape umbrella, because that's the word that I keep seeing whenever more news pops up, which, There's a lot there. But basically what I'm reading is people are calling her a rape accuser. But again, in the actual lawsuit, the allegations specify sexual assault, battery, and harassment. It is a $50 million lawsuit. There's so much to break down here. I was telling Ben, there's literally so many ways that we could go. But on Monday of this week, the 56-year-old former NFL player and podcast host, who is the host of an extremely popular podcast, Club Shay Shay, which I faithfully listen to, he released a statement through his attorney denying the allegations that anything non-consensual occurred between him and the woman identified as Jane Doe. The statement reads, quote, "This lawsuit filed by Jane Doe, orchestrated by her attorney, Tony Busby, is a blatant and cynical attempt to shake down Mr. Sharpe for millions of dollars." This statement was presented by attorney Lanny, J. Davis. And the statement does name the accuser, but right now publicly they're calling her Jane Doe because of this lawsuit. It is, I'm going to continue on with the statement from Shannon Sharpe's attorney. Quote, "It is filled with lies, distortions, and misrepresentations, and it will not succeed." So the response includes explicit text messages between Sharpe and the plaintiff, follows a woman who filed this, seriously, blockbuster, a $50 million lawsuit against Sharpe in Nevada on Sunday. So this statement came out just a mere 24 hours, if that, after the woman filed the lawsuit. So according to court documents, the relationship began in 2023. Jane Doe was 19 years old. We're going to come back to that because that's a big thing that I need to focus on. Let's not forget what I said to y'all earlier. 56-year-old former NFL player, and this is a lawsuit that was filed by someone who was 19 when they met. So she was 19, he was 54 years old when they met. They met at a local gym. The plaintiff admits they were engaged in a consensual, rocky relationship. Very interesting way of putting that. For 2 years. She claims there are things that went down that she did not consent to. There's a lot here. The first thing, like I said, I want to talk about is the age discrepancy, the age difference. I want to know what 54-year-old man pursues a 19-year-old woman, for one. That's my first thing that I want to know. But then the second thing, and I asked Benjamin this before we got on air, so I'm going to ask him again now that we are officially on air. In your opinion, 1017 The Truth, everyone watching out there, really anyone who has a pulse, what does a 54-year-old man have in common with a 19-year-old woman? I'll wait. Ben, I asked you that good 20, 25 minutes ago. You could, and I'm just going to go ahead and call Ben out right now. This man didn't have a response for me. He tried to be diplomatic and say,
hold up.
Well, you tried to say, well, we don't know them personally. And I'm like, no. I'm not talking. And that's fair, Ben. You're absolutely right. I'm generalizing right now. I am not asking you, what does Shannon Sharpe and Jane Doe, what do they have in common? No. I'm asking, what does any 54-year-old man, it doesn't matter who, it could be Bob the Builder from down the street, because we know Bob's probably close to his 50 now, so he's been around for a minute. What does any 54-year-old man have in common with any 19-year-old woman?
I think if we're speaking in general terms, surface level, you would think that they wouldn't have anything in common. That's what you would say. You'd be like, you know what, man, 54 years old, what are you doing kicking with somebody who is 35 years your minor, right?
Your senior.
Well, he's 35 years her senior.
I got you.
Yep.
I got you.
Uh-huh.
Come on now. Come on now, Ben. Keep me on my toes.
We can do that vocabulary. But no, in Shannon Sharpe's case with this young woman, the only one thing, the common denominator that I do see between both of those two individuals is the fact that they're both sexual deviants. Right? They're both sexual deviants.
Wow.
She's on OnlyFans. He's out here, performing S&M, and it's It's crazy to see my brother Shannon in this light, Uncle Shay Shay in this light, because for the past 2-3 years, I've been tuning into this gentleman's podcast, picking up game on when it comes down to interviewing folks, and just learning from Shannon Sharpe, learning from him. And this is why I believe, it's going global at this point, right? It's because he impacts our community much more than he probably even realized, especially after the Cat Williams interview. But when it comes down to them and their relationship, oh, man, it gets crazier and crazier the more you hear the audio calls, the more you're reading the text messages, because this isn't just any normal relationship. Obviously, you pointed out the age gap, but at the same time, these gentlemen, this gentleman and this young lady, one happened to be a big black man, as he said in one of the audio clips. And I actually have an audio clip that I'll play in a brief moment between the phone call between him and his, can't even call her a mistress. I'll call her his. I
mean, the accuser.
The accuser.
She's an accuser. Yeah,
she's an accuser because even when you had read that, Mel, it made me think to myself it gets kind of sticky when you are in a relationship, right? And you're trying to constitute what is consensual, and I guess what is not consensual.
I mean, is it up for debate? Let's be real. Is it up for debate?
From the outside looking in, Mel, it kind of seems like it, because on one end she's talking about, or he's talking about, how she likes to be choked and all these other things, and from the outside looking in, I don't participate in that world. I don't get down like that. So I don't know how far these sexual deviants go when it comes down to their language and what hypes them up and what doesn't. That's why this court, what happens to this court process, this court case, will be very interesting, because this will be a lot of people peeking inside of a world that we never saw before. When we even think about, at least when I thought about Shannon Sharpe, I never saw him in a light of being, a 69 God, so to speak. I didn't think about that about Shannon Sharpe. I thought he was just a big, strong black dude, muscular. He's in his 50s. He's got it going on, right? That's how I looked at Shannon Sharpe. Some people even poked around with him before, and I want to say, I forget the gentleman's name, but he was a comedian, but he poked fun at Shannon Sharpe. And it was Mike Epps, and he went on to go say that Shannon Sharpe was actually gay, and now I'm starting to see that, again, like I said before, this gentleman had some sexual ideas in his head that he wanted to act out, and obviously he wanted to act out with this OnlyFans model. And again, I don't think that the situation at hand is right, but I definitely need to see how Shannon Sharpe is going to be able to handle all of this pressure. Is he going to buck under the pressure, or is he going to, be able to win this case? And
he's allegedly trying to silence her. They're saying that there's a $10 million settlement that has been offered. And, I mean, frankly, okay, so today there was an attorney named Lanny. For the record, there's a lot of people that are involved in this. Who is Lanny Davis? Exactly. Regardless, he's an attorney who today alleged that Shannon Sharpe offered at least $10 million to settle the claims made by the woman who is suing him for sexual assault and other claims. I have always believed that anyone who is innocent does not settle. Why settle unless there are certain, to your point, Ben, because now we got to peek into the world of Shannon Sharpe, unless there are certain things that you don't want to see the light of day, I can understand settling. It's okay, let's say he didn't sexually assault her, or there was no misconduct to the extent that we're being made to believe, i.e. that she was coerced, or she was forced, or she was raped. Let's say those things did not happen in the sense of what this lawsuit is implying, right? Because, again, I think consensual is consensual. To me, there should be no doubt about that. However, you got Shannon Sharpe, who is a former NFL player. Like you said, he's a very popular podcast host. He was at one point a very popular TV host. He's just an overall popular figure in the sports world, right?
And in the black community.
And in the black community. And, I mean, the media world. I mean, there's so many different places in our society in which Shannon Sharpe, his name comes up often, right?
Correct.
So you got this 19-year-old Nevada woman who met him allegedly at a gym, And that's a very powerful person to go up against. So let's say you start engaging in this sexual relationship with Shannon Sharpe. I'm now putting myself in the 19-year-old shoes.
Okay.
You probably are feeling powerless in the sense of, things are going, we both agree with X, Y, Z, and then all of a sudden, he maybe tries to introduce something that you've never done before, something extra, something that you've never done, or that you maybe aren't super comfortable with, but you also don't feel comfortable saying no. Now, let's say you engage in said activity, but you never said no, you never explained that you were uncomfortable, but now you go back and it's at a point where you're like, this man has, I have audio recording, which we're going to get to, audio recording of him saying he's going to choke me, of me saying don't manipulate me, of him calling me, names, of him telling me that I shouldn't go to certain places, whatever it may be. Now she's realizing I got all this stuff and I was doing things with him sexually that I was not comfortable with doing. I may have something on, I really may have a case here. But my issue, based on what we have seen, the information we've gotten, the text messages that have been leaked, there's nothing that implies that she did not want those sexual things that I have seen. I need y'all to send me anything that is showing concrete evidence of she said no and he forced her against her will. What I have seen that is a really bad look for him and is certainly displaying that there's something going on where he was mistreating her. What I have seen, or heard, I should say, are the audio calls. That's what I have heard that seems to be the most damning evidence that there's something off about this. But to me, the most off thing is the fact that a 54-year-old man picked up a 19-year-old girl, at a gym. I think the whole relationship should have been put in the ground. I think it should have been put in the trash. It should have never been entertained.
Why are you being ageist, bro?
It's not about ageism. Love is love. But I am so sorry. I hate to be this person. It is not 1824. We are not living in a time where children are leaving the home at 12 to go and, raise livestock and become a parent by 15, because they're married, have 5 kids by the age of 20, and then die from red fever at 35. I'm sorry, that's not the world.
Are you coming at Shannon Sharpe because he's from the South?
I'm coming at both of them. I'm coming at both of them. She knows she should not have been engaging with somebody who is old enough to be her father, and he knows he should not have been engaging with somebody who probably played with his daughter in the sandbox at one point. Okay? I know you were in Nevada at some point when that girl was a toddler.
What, Mel? I believe one day you're going to grow up and you're going to be a cougar, bro. You're going to be one of them women that's like, I like me a little young bull from time to time.
You know what? I wouldn't mind it.
Because, you saw how, what's old girl's name? From Girlfriends. From Girlfriends.
Oh, Tracy Ellis Ross?
Tracy Ellis Ross.
What about her?
She was like, I love me young men. That's who she goes after.
But what's young? What's young?
She talking about 20s.
Then ain't no what. How old is she? She in her 50s?
Yeah, she in her 50s. She damn near 60.
Okay, it's giving mid to late 20s, but I would never go more than 10 years younger.
Okay,
I hope.
I think that when it hey, you never know who you might fall in love with, Mel. You never know.
You think they're in love?
Well,
do you think a 54-year-old man is in love with a 19-year-old girl?
I think they had a love affair a love relationship they both understood. Because when you're doing those types of things, bro, you share a relationship with somebody that nobody knows Shannon Sharpe like that. As far as I know, does Michelle know Shannon Sharpe like that?
Who's Michelle?
Michelle was all on Shannon Sharpe's Instagram. Michelle.
Oh, that Michelle.
Michelle. He acted like he ain't know that the Instagram Live came on. He was like, I don't even know how to work Instagram. And I want to underscore that, too, because when I thought about that, when that scenario even popped off with Shannon, and one of the excuses that he had said, one of the reasonings to why his camera came on or whatever, is he said he didn't know how to work Instagram. So if Shannon Sharpe didn't know how to work Instagram.
Why are you even on Instagram while you doing all that?
Facts. If he didn't know how to work Instagram, then it comes down to, you didn't know how these women of this today's generation actually move and maneuver. Because he should have been able to know or peep out when he's on these phone calls with this 20-year-old OnlyFans model or whatever, how she's talking to him. Sounds like a setup. Sounds like a trap. All right, sounds like you being recorded.
Does it, for you, does it, like, change her accusations because he was being set up? Because let's be very clear. I always believe accusers, but I agree with you. To me, it sounds like a setup. It sounds like there was people get kinky, okay? The S&M is real. Ben already alluded to it. People have their kinks. It is what it is. I'm not saying one way or the other because, to be honest, I hate that we're even in their business. I'm not even going to front, Ben. I hate that we have to talk about this, but we got to talk about this because this is it's too timely, and there's so much discourse that we can get out of this. I mean, it's the age of it all. It's the allegations of it all. It's the OnlyFans and the power struggle, and like you said, the way that these women trick men today. Like, tricking has always been happening, okay? On both ends.
The hustle is vicious.
Come on now.
The hustle is vicious, boy.
And if there's anybody who knows that, it's Shannon Sharpe. Come on now. You played in the NFL. You can't tell me that you haven't seen it all before. And don't try to old man us. Don't try to say, I don't know how to work Instagram. You know how to work Instagram, Shannon Sharpe. You know dang well how Instagram works. And second of all, why are you on your phone when you're having an encounter? I would be mad if I were Michelle. I'd be like, can you get off your phone? We're in the middle of something. We're engaging. But then also, Ben, for me, like I said, if this was a setup, does it then call into question if her accusations are true? Because that is what is bothering me.
Right.
She's so young. It definitely seems as if she was trying to bait him into that conversation, that audio, calls that were leaked.
Yep.
But did she try to bait him because she knew this man sexually assaulted me? This man forced me to do things against my will, and I am building my case. In which case, I got nothing for you because guess what? She did what she had to do.
Right. No, I mean, honestly, if she's building her case and those things did really go down, then she did it. She did it very lovely.
She did it the way she needed to.
Yeah, she did it exactly how she needed to. If Shannon Sharpe is the predator that we're people or the internet is alluding to with all the audio and text messages that we are seeing, then hey, he deserves everything he's supposed to get. At the same time, when it comes down to black men being paraded around Hollywood as these sexual deviants, I'm seeing it all across the board. They looking at Diddy, they looking at Jay-Z, they looking at Chris Brown, they looking at Shannon Sharpe now. And I mean, shoot, just what? It was all good just a week ago. 2 months ago, it was all about Jonathan Majors. Him running away from a white woman for past 2 years.
Don't bring that into this because that man did what he did. We have video evidence. We saw him choking her.
He didn't do crazy, though. He did not.
He choked her.
He did not choke that woman.
And that has nothing to do with race. That man, let me stop.
Look, all I know is when we saw Jonathan Majors, he ran away from that woman. He was trying to protect his peace.
But why are we trying to protect terrible people?
I don't think we're trying to protect terrible people. I think really, I'm not trying to protect terrible people.
Kind of sounds like you are. You're making excuses for him.
No, what I'm doing is seeing from both sides. I'm seeing from all angles because on one end it could be some deception in all of this. But at the same time, if any of this is true, like I said before, Shannon Sharpe should go to jail and receive whatever time he's supposed to receive. Even with the legal attorney that she has, Tony Bugsby. You know what I'm saying? The 1-800 caller lawyer, Jay-Z just defeated him. Now Shannon Sharpe has these allegations against him, and the Bugsby guy seems to be, winning in the scenario from a public image standpoint, right? We still haven't gone to court for these things. But we will see these things play out in court, and I think that's the most important thing out of all of this. We can sit back and talk till we're blue in the face,
right?
But the facts will be the facts when the court does what it needs to do.
That's what's frustrating to me, though. I agree with you, Ben. Like, innocent until proven guilty, sure, we can say all of that, because to be honest with you, I'm having a really hard time with the actual allegation of rape, because in the lawsuit, the attorney it says that she's seeking damages for pain and suffering, psychological and emotional distress, mental anguish, embarrassment, and humiliation. Miss Ma'am,
Wait, okay.
are you not the one who is putting all of this out there and now you are causing mental anguish? Are you not embarrassing yourself? Are you not human? I'm serious, man. I'm confused.
But
we didn't know any of this until she told us. And I get the lawsuit. I get it. But they leaked a lot of information from that lawsuit. They're leaking text messages. They're leaking audio. It kind of sounds like a circus. Like it feels like it's a show that's being put on. And I don't know what to believe. So I agree with you. We need to let it play out in the court of law, but it's now being played out in the court of public opinion.
Just like
and
most
that's why
cases these days.
he's trying to settle it because all cases these days. But I personally think he's trying to settle because I think that he knows there's going to be some things that come out about him. He does not want people to know, and that's fair. But find out
Shannon Sharpe like to be in one of those latex suits.
And if he does, good for you, Playboy. Do it. But don't do it with a 19-year-old. So that's my point, and I want to come back to that. Ben, to me, Shannon Sharpe, he made his own bed. You feel me? Like, I genuinely, honest to God, I do feel like he is at fault, first off and foremost, for entertaining a teenager.
100%.
Like, if there's anything that people need to be judging him for publicly, it's the fact that he's 54 and he's picking up a 19-year-old at the gym. You played a very stupid game, and look at all these stupid prizes that are rolling out for you. You get a stupid prize. You get a stupid prize. Everybody in Shannon Sharpe's camp gets a very stupid prize. And now you're trying to allegedly settle for $10 million. Good luck with that. This woman is seeking out $50 million, saying that you embarrassed her, that you not choked her. He actually said he was going to choke her, which that audio is very confusing as well, by the way. But so many accusations are being thrown out. And again, this is somebody who is very powerful, clearly has a lot of money, just got a very recent payday. I don't know what to believe, but what I can tell you right now, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of these type of allegations. I'm sick of people being with like powerful individuals and feeling like they can't leave for whatever reason. I'm sick of us women feeling like we're in a situation that we can't get out of. And I want to be on her side because, again, I'm always going to take the stance of believing the accuser. I want to believe so desperately that she is not lying, but there's just something here. It does not feel right. It feels very much like a setup, but I don't know what's the setup. Did he act like, let's say he sexually assaulted her, but when he sexually assaulted her, was it something that she tried to address at the time? Like, why not? Why is this all coming out? Why is it coming out the manner that it is? What exactly is what's at the center of this? What's happening here? Like, I'm confused, Ben. I'm really genuinely confused, but I want to read something that I saw online. And if y'all can help me out, by the way, we're live right now, so chime in, give me your thoughts. But I saw something online that got me. It was a guy, I think a guy, who wrote this comment on one of the many posts about this. He said, "A man without sexual discipline is a liability." That's a bar, because I'm going to tell y'all right now, again, I do think that Shannon Sharpe, unfortunately, he caused all of this because he could have stopped it right where it started. You know, he is the more powerful person in this situation. He's the elder in this situation. You know, he's the one with more life experience. And not only that, Ben, I think most importantly of all, he's the one that has the most to lose. Right. And he allowed himself to be put into this situation.
Yeah, he played himself, man.
He played himself. Mm-hmm. Okay, he played football, and now he's playing himself. And this woman, she's trying to sue him for all he's got, but she's not just trying to sue him, Ben. She's trying to defame him. She does not want Shannon Sharpe to be as powerful as he is. Why is that? Why are you trying to take this man down? And I'm not going to lie to you, Ben. I have to believe it's because he really did do the things that she's accusing him of, but I don't think he did. I'm literally caught between the two.
I mean, because when you listen to the audio, Mel, it's crazy, man. Because that's what I'm saying. I think a lot of people don't necessarily know what to believe.
Right.
Because a lot of times, like, again, when it came down to the Diddy case, right? When it was the Diddy case, we knew for a fact that Diddy had beat up Cassie. We saw the video, right? But when it comes down to this audio, on some end, it sounds like this is what they're into. This is what they like, you know? So it's like, man, I hope Shannon Sharpe didn't do these things, but if he did, you know, hey, it is what it is. You know, again, like you said before, he's a grown-ass man. He really made his bed, and he has to lie in it now. You know, there's all these different, you know, ideas and stereotypes that go about when it comes down to a black man, especially him being a Southern man, a black man dating a white woman. And one of the things that, you know, he went on to go say, even in one of the audio leaks that I heard, is the fact of like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and choke you. Yeah, a black man choking a white woman. It's almost as if something in the back of his mind, you know, gets off on those types of ideas. Because I know for a fact there's still black men out here who are still trying to hold it down for their ancestors who never got any of that white stuff. You know what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is, again, you know, Shannon Sharpe, now you have to come to the pulpit. Now you have to really speak your truth. You know, I don't even think that the way he's been handling this process is the right way. Like, I don't think he should have leaked anything. He should have just allowed his lawyer to do things. You know, allow his lawyer to do things. Don't drop no text messages. Don't drop no audio phone calls for the public to eat up, because I think it's so crazy to be a celebrity these days that as soon as some bad stuff happens about you or whatever, or to you, the public immediately wants to run with it and believe it, because as Charlamagne Tha God would say, you know, nobody cares about the truth when the lie is more entertaining. You know, so ultimately, if the lie is more entertaining and you release it out to the masses, they're gonna eat it up, and that's what's going to become the truth. And then when it comes down to you being in court, that's another thing that's a little iffy, right? Because, you know, we have social media these days. It ain't the 1900s at all anymore, where, you know, you can get some people from Kentucky to come up here to Wisconsin, you know, or get somebody from another county to come into Milwaukee to actually, you know, judge this person. No, the whole world, anybody who's going to be a juror on this court will happen to know something about Club Shay Shay, to know something about Shannon Sharpe, and even this possibly this woman now, because it goes on TMZ, and this is where people get their news from social media. So I even think when it comes down to having the proper jury, being a celebrity, it's kind of difficult to get an actual justification, fair trial. Thank you so much, Mel. So it's just interesting to see how this thing is going to play out. Again, and this even happens on the heels of Diddy's trial starting next month. So we'll see what goes down.
No, it's a lot, and it's very upsetting, because, like you said, speaking from, you know, the black community standpoint, it does feel like it's just one black man after another, after another, after another. I mean, I couldn't agree more, but these three cases that you brought up, the Shannon Sharpe, the Diddy, and the, what's his name, Jonathan Majors,
yep,
they're all so drastically different. Like, Jonathan Majors was in a committed relationship with this long-term girlfriend.
Correct.
Shannon Sharpe was, you know, messing with a kid.
Mistress or something?
A kid. Well, it must have been her girlfriend, because she's accusing him of infidelity. So they were in a relationship then.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I hate to say it, which... Come on, man.
I couldn't see myself being that old and being with somebody so young. I really couldn't see it.
Come on.
You know,
And then,
I personally think when people do those types of situations, whether, you know, the older person is male or female, and they get with a younger person, I always believe it's for mental dominance. That's what I believe.
oh, of course. Of course. And then Diddy, of course, that's just, you know, that's a whole other thing.
Take that. Master manipulator.
So the woman, she said that the relationship was consensual but deeply manipulative, which I find very interesting.
Nice choice of words.
She said, and she even said in that audio leak, or not leak, I think her lawyer put it out, so it's not really a leak, but she said, like, you know, stop manipulating me, like, which, anyway, I don't know. Manipulate, it's a very normal word, but I don't remember the last time I said that to somebody, like, in casual conversation. I don't use that word.
Manipulate me, man.
Yeah, well, I guess
Stop
I don't.
manipulating
You know what?
me.
I guess we don't hang out with people that manipulate us, Ben. So that's probably.
You're trying to manipulate me right now.
Hey, but over in the article, it said, the lawsuit, it said he became increasingly controlling and physically abusive, choking and hitting her on multiple occasions, and allegedly threatening to kill her numerous times for not only resisting his sexual advances, but also for accusing him of infidelity. So she's alleging that he threatened to kill her because she accused him of being unfaithful. And according to the lawsuit, he raped her twice in October 2024, again in January of 2025, and it accuses him of repeatedly recording the two having sex without her acknowledgement or her consent.
And I just want to know how the courts are going to prove that, though, because I know on one end, when like sexual assault does go down, typically, there's a lot of bruising around the area, right? It's a lot of bruising around the where you do, right? You actually would go see bruising, but when it comes down to like somebody that you've already, been interactive with, again, I don't know.
Oh, Lanny Davis, by the way, that's Shannon Sharpe's lawyer.
Oh, okay. Well, shout out to Lanny, whatever.
But I hear you, and I would like to believe that she's got evidence. Like, I don't think that she would bring a lawsuit like this forward if she didn't. Hence why I do believe that that's what she was trying to do in the audio. I think she was trying to gather basically get him to admit or to do the things that she's accusing him of, because she knows he has a temper, or this is what's going to cause him to say this because he said it before, so maybe I can bait him into doing it again. But if he's done it before, I kind of understand why she would do it, because she needs proof. Mm-hmm. You feel me? So I'm not saying it's right, but if he did it, she had to do what she had to do.
So ultimately, what do you believe?
I don't know what to believe.
If you was to make a solid judgment right now, today, what would you think, given the information we know?
My honest opinion, I think that he is a now 56-year-old man who has a lot more life and sexual experience than this now 21-year-old woman. I think that he comes from a different time. Think about it for real. Right. This man is a Gen Xer and she is a Gen Zer. Mm-hmm. They are a whole 2 generations apart, my guy. Like, Shannon would be too old for me, and I'm a millennial. This girl's a Gen Zer, way too old for her, in my opinion. Sorry if I sound like an ageist. I think that they come from a different time, a different world, different situations. I think that he has more life experience, more sexual experience. I think she was not ready for what he wanted. I think that older men have experienced a lot of things sexually, most of them, and they are into trying new things. I do not believe that Shannon Sharpe would rape somebody. I don't want to believe that. But I do believe that she got herself into a situation where she was in over her head. She felt like she was not able to pull out for whatever reason, whether it was a control thing, maybe she was afraid of him, maybe he did threaten, or whatever the case may be. I think she was in over her head, and he acted in a way in which he thought it was okay, but she did not. And I think that she was too young to understand what this man wanted of her, and I think that he was dumb for trying to entertain her in a way that, I'm sorry, but she's too young to be entertained like that. That girl don't know what she's doing. She has no idea what she is doing. You have seen, I can only imagine what he has seen sexually, and this man was probably entering a new chapter of his erotic life, tried to bring a 19-year-old along for the ride. She was not ready, because guess what? She's got 35 years of sexual deviancy to catch up on before she gets to the point that you're at, Shannon. But guess what? In 35 years, you'll be 80 plus, and I don't know if you'll be doing things that, you're doing now.
Never know.
You never know.
Never know how low Shay sway.
But my point, I'm sorry, but a 19-year-old sexual experience and, what they're doing, it's very different from what a mid-50s-year-old man is doing.
I don't know. He a mid-50-year-old man that's in shape, though.
That ain't got nothing to do with it, Ben. I'm talking. So without me getting too explicit, and we're gonna wrap up here in just a moment, but without me getting too explicit, Ben, let's say let's do it in terms of bases. Well, no, because I don't want to get too explicit, Ben. I'm not doing that. Let's use baseball terms, because now I think you'll understand what I'm saying. First base, second base, third base, home run. Let's say
grand slam.
Let's say by the time you are 19, you've gone to first base. I ain't talking in the traditional sense. I'm saying these are the different.
I'm holding hands.
You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And then let's say by 30, you finally done did second base. By 40, third base. By 50, you said, man, I've been on through all the bases. Let's get a home run. But the 19-year-old is still stuck on first base. Yeah. How do you expect a 19-year-old to hurry up and run through all those bases with you in 2 years' time and not feel like she was forced into doing it because that's what you are into doing at the age of 50? And then you have the audacity to get mad at her, to call her names, to do all these things. And it's like, but you, my guy, you chose to do that with a 19-year-old, and yet you expected her to be ready to do things that a 54-year-old man wanted to do. He probably was asking her to do the stuff that she never even heard of, thought of, knew of. She probably didn't know existed. I'm just saying.
You know, okay. Man.
Do you understand what I'm saying now?
I feel you, and that was very hilarious. That was very hilarious.
It's really, I'm trying to paint the picture without getting too graphic.
I just want to, because... Okay, if we go that route with this whole Shannon Sharpe thing, right?
Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong at all, because you know what? I will say that she is the OnlyFans model now. So she may have been a little bit more promiscuous than what we believe. However, you know, this could be Club Shay Shay, Uncle Shannon Sharpe. He could have went over there approaching her, thinking that because she does these types of things that she's willing to do any and everything.
Well, of course.
And kind of what you said before, one thing led to another. He started to push things a little further than what she thought, you know, what it was going to go or what it was going to be. But again, like I said before, we're going to have to see the courts play out. We have to see how that plays out. You said, you know, she was in over her head, and I believe it, because, you know, Club Shay Shay probably had her in swings and all. You know, swings, whips, chains. You know, he from the South, so he was getting his get back. I'm master now.
I think
I'm master now.
I think the moral of the story is, though, make sure that you have everyone sign an NDA and don't do things that the other party does not consent to, okay? I think that, I don't know. I just don't think that Shannon Sharpe is a sexual assaulter. I really genuinely don't. My gut is telling me he is not, but I am not saying that she's lying. But my gut says he is not that. That's just my gut.
I wouldn't like to believe him to be a sexual assaulter, you know, but I also didn't see Uncle Shay Shay being a sexual deviant either.
Or a predator.
Yeah, or a predator. I mean, he wears some glasses. He looks like a nice guy, you know, but hey, he's a Southern boy with them Southern roots.
I will
Swing low, sweet chariot, you know.
I will say, though, real talk, I hope that he and a lot of other men learn from this, because I am disappointed that he was messing with a 19-year-old. I know I kept stressing that, Ben, and you called me an ageist. I wasn't trying to be ageist. Like, genuinely, leave.
I said that to get under your skin.
I know.
I felt like that was a good card to go.
Yeah,
you
was.
attacked, I hit defense.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, I saw.
Ageism. That's what I see.
But like, real talk, y'all, I think we all need to understand our boundaries. If you're in your 50s, you don't have anything in common with a teenager, period. I'm sorry. That's just my opinion. I don't know any teenager that has common ground with a 50-year-old. Don't even matter in my opinion. I'm not going to talk about what age you should date, because that's between you and God. I do not believe a 54-year-old has anything in common with a 19-year-old. And I do believe that this situation is happening because there are people who are meant to learn from it. There's a 50-year-old out there right now prowling for a teenager. And guess what? You may get Shannon Sharped. So I beg of you not to do it. Excuse me. You might get Club Shay Shade. You might get Sharped. You might get Shannoned. Either way, don't get got, okay? This could all be so preventable. But that being said, I hope and pray that the abuse allegations are not true. I hope that Jane Doe is doing okay. If she was put into a situation that she was uncomfortable with, no woman should ever be put in that. I'm so sorry that that happened to you. I pray that you find peace. I pray you're not lying. And I hope that Shannon Sharpe has a really, really good defense and has some really good receipts and proof to back him up. And we need to stop leaking stuff. Let's go ahead and take it to the court of law. I'm sick of this public opinion stuff, although here we are giving our public opinion. But we have to. It's news. This is big. This is huge news. And I really hope that there are people out there who learn from it. Because if you are 50 and you are prowling around the gym for a 19-year-old, I don't really see good things coming your way. Just saying.
Stay away from them white women.
All right, everybody. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Enjoy NFL Draft Week. I'm super excited for everybody who's going to be there for the festivities. I think it's going to be a really, really fun time. We're gearing up for a great time. Sports Milwaukee hosts Milwaukee Tailgate Week presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook. Shout out to Pato. Starting tomorrow, going through the 26th Milwaukee Tailgate Week features a variety of gridiron activations for all ages, steeped in Milwaukee's iconic sports history, attractions, brews, restaurants, and venues. The 2020 2025 NFL Draft is taking center stage in Green Bay, and Sports Milwaukee and the Cream City are so excited to welcome the football world back to Wisconsin. For tickets, you can still get them. Go to visitmilwaukee.org/tailgate. Use that promo code VISIT. That's VISIT for 50% off. Brought to you by Visit Milwaukee, handcrafted, homegrown, world class. Hey, it's NFL Draft Week. Shannon Sharpe used to play in the NFL. What a way to tie those two together. All right, I'm sure we'll have a lot more on this next week. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Let us know in the comments what you think about it. I'm curious to hear, which side are you on? Are you on Shay Shay's or are you on Jane Doe's? Shout out to our guy, Benjamin. Producer, look at him, always amazing. My name is Mel. I appreciate you so much for tuning in with Nothing But the Truth with Melanie Ricks, and we will see you next week. Bye.